Behold, the humble knife block. I love a knife block. When you look at it, you immediately know if all your knives are where they should be. When everything has its place, it becomes glaringly obvious when something is missing. In technical and cave diving, the gear load is so intense that keeping track of all of it becomes tricky if you don't develop a system. Personally, because my gear is all over the place, I use checklists to make sure I have what I need. But I long for a place where all my cave stuff can just live and be ready for a dive at a moment's notice without leaving me wondering if I have everything. And being able to toss my gear in the van and let it dry between dive days reduces the overall workload each day. And it increases the time where I get to just relax and enjoy my dive trip. The other very obvious reason why is to reduce my main cost associated with cave diving: lodging. It's usually around $20 to get into a cave, maybe 10 or 15 bucks in breathing gas, and another 25 or so for Zorb. So around $60 a day for cave diving, and I would actually say that estimate is a little bit high. Best case scenario for lodging is about the same, about 60 bucks a night, plus whatever it costs you for the penicillin shot you'll need after a stay in a hotel that cheap. So it gets expensive quick, and thus the dive van idea was born. The van still has a long way to go, but this is the point where the build is finally starting to make sense. The gear locker is taking shape, the bulkhead wall is going in, and I'm starting to turn this into something that can actually support dive travel. Between cave gear, scooters, cameras, tanks, batteries, wet gear, dry gear, food, water, and all the other stuff that ends up coming with me on travel days, I needed something built around how I actually dive, because in addition to more space, I also needed a better system. This is a practical, budget-friendly dive van build, and everything has to have a job. When I started looking around, I couldn't really find an affordable conversion van that actually made sense for divers. There were a lot of nice camper vans out there, but most of them were built around camping and full-time living, and who can even afford those anyway? I needed something built around diving, so I decided to build one myself. Now make sure you watch the whole video, because I am going to hide a discount code for DiveVibeTech.com somewhere in the van build, and if you've got a keen eye, you can spot it and get a discount that we usually only offer on Black Friday. So it's a pretty good discount, but it only works for a limited number of people. So if you spot it and you've been in the market, hey. One of the biggest parts of the van is the gear locker, and I'm building a mount specifically for my CUDA X. The scooters are not an afterthought in this build. They are one of the main reasons the van is being designed this way. This is what I started with: a Ford E350 from 1994. It had the space I needed, which was the main reason I bought it, but it still needed a lot of work before it could become a dive van. The inside was already in the beginning stages of being gutted, but there was still plenty to remove, clean up, and plan around. The outside needed attention too, but for this phase, the priority was getting the van ready for the actual dive layout. The goal was to get the van stripped down enough to build around the gear. Before we get into actually gutting the van, I wanted to take a second to say thank you to DiveXtras. They're the main sponsor of this van build, and they've also been one of the biggest supporters of DiveVibe for years. They gave us opportunities when a lot of companies wouldn't even email us back, and they took the time to support what we were trying to build with this channel. And now we're here, building a dive van with them as the main sponsor, which is pretty cool. Thank you to DiveXtras for supporting DiveVibe, supporting this build, and helping make this project possible. Now, before any of that could happen, I had to get the van stripped down and ready to build. Gutting a van is not complicated, but it takes time. It's a lot of removing old pieces, cleaning, checking what's underneath, and getting the inside ready for the actual build. This is the part that looks quick in a montage, but it's a lot of hours. And it matters because everything I build later depends on what I do here. If the foundation is bad, or I waterproof incorrectly, it could have major consequences down the road. It's like starting a skill without neutral buoyancy. Because the cargo area needs to be waterproofed, there was a lot of prep work that went into that area specifically. I treated any rust spots, and then I did a solid coat of protective enamel to start us off on the right foot. The outside also needed some help. We had to sand down all the colored paint before we could repaint it to match the rest of the van. Because this is not the final paint job and more of just a placeholder to keep the van looking uniform, we went with regular old rattle cans, and it took about 4 coats to get it matching the rest of the van again. I have a bigger exterior plan coming later. It's honestly sick, and I'm excited about it. I don't want to give away too much, but bed liner may be involved. But for this phase, I just wanted to clean it up and get rid of the colored paint on the side. The full exterior transformation will come later. This is where the build becomes specific to diving. I'm not starting with a normal van build layout. I'm starting with the dive gear. The biggest challenge is making everything work together. The gear locker has to be big enough to actually do its job, but it can't take over the whole van. The Bodega Cooler and CTOLITY battery need to be accessible, but they also need to be out of the way. The gear has to be easy to load and secure while I'm driving and easy to get to when I'm at a dive site. Before I can build the gear locker, I really took my time in prepping the floor to not only be ready for waterproofing, but for strength as well. Here I used some sound deadening strips and then laid out the wood to create a strong and even area to build on. This is the difference between a normal camper layout and a dive van layout. A camper layout is usually built around a living space. If something looks nice but makes the gear harder to use, it doesn't belong in this build. Okay, let's talk about power. When I started looking into power options for the van, it got complicated and expensive really fast. Solar, inverters, wiring, batteries, charging controllers, permanent electrical systems, all that makes sense for some builds, especially if you're living in a van full time, but that is not what this van is. I needed to make something a little bit simpler, something that if you're following along at home, it'd be a little bit more likely that it's not something that's going to make you pull your hair out. Most of the time I'll be staying at campsites or places with power hookups, so I don't want to overcomplicate the setup. What I needed was something simple, portable, and powerful enough to run when I need it during the day, especially on long dive days or while I'm teaching. That's where the CTOLITY portable battery comes in. So far, this thing has exceeded my expectations. The battery life has been really good, it charges fast, and I like that CTOLITY clearly put a lot of focus on safety and reliability, especially since I'm going to sleep in this van. It can work with solar, and who knows, maybe that's something I'll want in the future. But right now, I don't need a full off-grid electrical system. And with this much capacity, there's also real potential for charging DPV batteries on the go or in between dives if I need it. So the way I dive, travel, and teach, that's a big deal. Power is not something I want to be guessing on during long dive days. Next is cold storage. For this van, I wanted a way to keep drinks and food cold without dealing with ice. Bodega Coolers sent me this electric cooler for the build, and I've already been using it during the work days in the van, especially with the Florida heat. At first, I was a little hesitant about going with an electric cooler because I assumed it would pull a lot of power, but it has been way more efficient than I expected. This thing has been plugged into my portable battery for 5 days, and the battery's only dropped about 20%. Once the cooler gets down to the temperature I set, it kicks into energy-saving mode, so it's not constantly pulling power. Another thing I like is that the lids can be swapped to open from either side. In a small van layout, that actually matters, so you can make sure the screen and buttons are facing in the right direction. I was able to set it up so the battery can keep the cooler running, but the battery is still easy to access if I need to power tools, charge batteries, or plug in other gear. Once everything's all done, this thing is going to be powering all the DC stuff in the van, like the cabin lights, exhaust fans, and the cooler through a fuse box. I've also got AC power to charge scooter batteries, dive lights, and cameras. Even though that stuff is going to be run primarily off shore power when I'm camping, I'm going to install a port in the side so I can just plug it in. The biggest part of this phase is the gear locker. The back of the van is being framed specifically around my Cuda X, my rebreather, tanks, dry suit, and all the other gear I need to have. The gear is not just going in the back wherever it fits. It needs to be secure, protected, easy to load and unload, and able to dry between dives. There's a big difference between something fitting and something actually working. A scooter might technically fit in a space, but if it's hard to load, hard to secure, or it blocks everything else, then the layout doesn't work. Because DiveXtras is sponsoring the van build, I do not want to screw this part up. Let's go cut some shit. Welcome to the dungeon. It's the cut dungeon, baby. Cuts achieved. See if it fits. Yes, it fits. They fit. I'm gonna screw them in. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Should probably be wearing gloves. Oh well. Still gonna send it. And ta-da! It's all done. Well, at least I think the framing's done for now. Pretty sure it's done. This is the scooter mount. Very beefy. So the scooter's gonna sit right here. And there's gonna be a mount right here to hold it in place so it doesn't fly all over the place. I'm driving down the road at Mike Jesus. Anyway. Yeah. I used some heavy-duty caulk that can deal with the vibrations of a van build, and Rust-Oleum high-performance protective enamel. And I used this specifically because it had the right balance of things I needed between waterproofing, budget, dry times, availability. This is the one that worked best for me. I would highly recommend, if you're doing it yourself, to not just use exactly what I used. Do your own research. There are other really good options out there like Rust-Oleum Mule, truck bed liners. Hell, you could even use Flex Seal. Once the gear locker started going in, the van started to make more sense. That back section gives the whole build a starting point. This is not a camper van that might occasionally carry dive gear. This is a dive van. This is why I'm doing all of this. The diving is the point. The van is what helps support it. That's the goal. Not luxury, function. Just like me. A van that helps me dive more, film more, travel easier, and keep my gear organized. So that's where I'm at right now. The van is gutted, cleaned up, temporarily painted, and the gear locker is finally taking shape. Waterproofing is done, the bulkhead wall is framed, the main layout is starting to make sense. It's still rough, and there's still a lot to do, but it's starting to look like the dive van I had in my mind. The next phase is where this should start coming together even more. I still need to finish the gear locker, figure out more storage, keep testing the power and cooler setup, and eventually get to the full exterior transformation and figure out a place to sleep. But this is the part where the van is starting to become useful. So if you want to follow the rest of the build, make sure you're subscribed. Check out the DiveVibe Discord if you want to get involved, and if you'd like to support our efforts, you can follow the link to Patreon in the pinned comment below and receive my everlasting gratitude, in addition to access to some exclusive content. Thanks for watching. Dive safe, dive hard, and I'll see you in the water.